Well, looky there, who's back together again? It is another edition of Litter Media Live on this February 15th, 2024. I'm Dan Ramey. He's Mike Smith.
Good morning.
Good to be back together again. I know people were wondering if we had some kind of, it's just tournament time.
Yes.
And when tournament time comes along, and basketball and everything else, we need to find time to visit with our families. And we can't always be together. Well,
you still have a family?
Yeah. I did spend some time yesterday with Amelia, and I know it's Valentine's Day, so you would think my wife would have been happy to have me home.
You'd think.
But it goes to show and for young individuals that are in love and they're trying to spend as much time as they can with each other, remember, as you get older, that time is just different than it is right now.
Why don't you just look over to our producer and tell Aaron what you really mean? Yeah, just go ahead and tell him on camera. I'm talking to you, son.
Yeah.
There's some fatherly advice.
Yes. Lovers forever and all that jazz. But Valentine's Day just isn't what it used to be, you know?
We went work out at the gym last night, and then we went and got a sub sandwich last night. That was our Valentine's dinner.
And after church last night, we sat and we watched that Fox TV show, The Floor, with, the guy, Rob Lowe.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's actually kind of a neat show. I've liked it. Of the new shows to replace everything during the writer's strike, it's been one of my favorite shows.
Gotcha.
All right, coming up in a moment, we'll take a look at what's happening with news. We'll also have sports for you, and this date in history for our historic fans, or fans of history, which some are historic. Where's the Litter Media Wayback Machine going to today?
1903. And no, it has nothing to do with the Wright brothers.
All right. And we've had some changes in Columbus. Details coming up. But first, let's take a look at what the forecast is doing for us.
Yeah, a breezy day today. It'll be sunny, high of 53, but then things turn a bit colder for tomorrow. Talking about some snow in the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Whether any of it will stick is highly questionable because of the ground temperature. Tomorrow, 40 the high, 28 the overnight low, but then we'll be back up to 43 for the high on Sunday.
We have not had much in the way of snow this year, have we?
I brought the snowblower into the garage in expectation of that snow that we had a week or two ago.
And that's a sign that it's usually not going to be needed.
Well, we did have about 2.5 inches in Frankfort.
Yeah.
So I was able to use it. Mm-hmm. But that's been it.
And I've had the snow shovel sitting out next to our back door for I don't know how long, because that's where our main entry is, through the back door. And so I have just left it there, and it seems to say, we're Teflon.
Yeah.
Snow, stay away.
The times that I've considered taking it back out to the shed, I keep remembering, snowstorm in March, April 1st.
Yeah.
So I'm hanging on to it for a while.
Yeah, might as well. All right, coming up in a moment, so look at what's making news for us today. But first, let's take a look at our friends at Scioto Valley Dumpsters. I saw this on the side of a taxi in Chillicothe today. 740-253-8389 is the number to call for Carl and get a dumpster. If you are doing something residentially or commercially that you need a dumpster, they can take care of the need for you. And when you fill it up, they'll haul it all away. That's the great news. Scioto Valley Dumpsters, 740-253-8389. Here on radio, here on Dan and Mike on Litter Media Live, and they're on taxis as well.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. click on Player of the Week.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
You asked, we delivered. New Mike's Hard Lemonade, Zero Sugar. Zero sugar. Amazing taste. Years in the making. Now that's a drink worthy of the name Mike.
If you're looking for the good news about things going on across our community, just log on to littermedia.com. That's where you'll find our stories. I happen to notice that Channel 4 is starting a segment talking about good news.
Well, how about that?
Well, I wonder if they're just following our lead on this.
You never know.
Get details at littermedia.com. You can always follow us on social media, here on Facebook, for those of you watching Litter Media Live, on YouTube, as well as on our radio feed, which you'll find at littermedia.com as well, and at Litter Media X, formerly Twitter. What's making news, Mike?
Well, yesterday, if you missed it, our special edition guest was Jane Osborne. She's an occupational therapy assistant at Logan Elm, but she also serves as a volunteer for the Pickaway County MRDD's Basketball Madness that comes up March 13th.
Each school brings their own representation and brings many children and staff and families together. It's a free intermission. We do have concessions available, and we also have a 50-50 raffle. Those proceeds go to the Pickaway County Special Olympics program.
So while the ticket to get in is free, there's opportunities to spend some money that will, go to a very special cause.
Yes, we have a huge program of Special Olympics in Pickaway County. I'm also involved with track, and they really have their children involved in many, many sports. So it's a great cause.
That game is coming up March 13th. It'll be at Circleville High School, and it teams Logan Elm against Westfall at 6, and then Circleville versus Tays Valley at 7:30. And this is some of the school athletes going and participating with the special needs kids at MRDD. So they're all getting to play together, and Jane says the place is packed.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a really neat event.
We've seen that at, last year with the Trailblazers from Pioneer Center at CHS. Fayette County holds theirs, I believe, over at Washington Senior High School. And it is just that. It is a packed atmosphere. So the one here in Ross County is March 20th, if I'm not mistaken, this year.
Gotcha.
All right. So good to see Jane on with us, too. Of course, remember Megan Osborne, Chillicothe Hall of Famer, and went on to run at Penn State. The Imagination Station up in Circleville, it's starting to take shape. And when we say that, if you happen to see this video that we had, the interview with Katie Hedges, there are kids actually knocking walls down. Now, they're not workers per se, but they were just the activity. They were getting to take hammers and try and knock some of that wall out. It was a lot of fun watching them participate. But this Inspiration Station is going to be open, they hope, in about a year.
Oh, great.
And have it up and running. The interview we had with Katie and the video put together now on our YouTube channel. Check that out. All produced by the guy to our left. Speaking of one Aaron Glandon.
Because on the screen, it looks like I'm to your left. Yeah.
To my left.
Yeah, there you go. Kiwanis Club of Chillicothe, along with the Ross County Ministerial Association, hosting the annual Statehood Day Prayer Breakfast, March the 2nd, it's a Saturday, at the First Presbyterian Church on Meade Drive, Chillicothe. Doors will be opening at 8 a.m. that day, the breakfast at 8:30, and the program starts at 9. This year's keynote speaker is Chillicothe Mayor Luke Feeney.
And we don't know who are they giving out the guests, the Citizen of the Year award? They still do that?
Well, I think Spirit of Ohio, I think is what they're calling it. That comes out, the word comes out, I think, in advance, and then they present it at the breakfast.
At the event itself, okay. But Luke Feeney is going to be the special speaker.
Correct.
All right. This year, we mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago in an interview with Cheryl Beverly, Cheryl's House of Hope will be the benefactor of Gus Macker, which is coming back to Chillicothe. When she and Dr. Sheila Gray were here to talk about this event, along with Gus Macker was with us, remotely speaking. We talked about this particular event coming in May, and we didn't know where they were going to have it. It's going to be on the streets downtown, so they have nailed that information down, and be looking forward to May 11th through 12th. It'll be a prelude to what really kicks off the summer activities this year. So Gus Macker coming back.
And it just happens to be the 50th anniversary of the organization, Gus Macker. This is also the 50th anniversary for the WIC program all across the country. And that stands for, of course, Women, Infants, and Children program. It's a supplemental food nutrition program that provides service to low-income pregnant and postpartum women, infants, and children up to the age of 5. As of 2021, the state of Ohio had 189 clinics and a total of 160,000 participants, with a national total WIC enrollment of 12.1 million. This particular story is Fayette County Health Department bringing attention this anniversary, but Ross County, I think they share WIC services with Pickaway County, so it's all over Ohio, but each of the county health departments giving a salute to WIC for turning 50. You never look so good at age 50.
Thank you.
Many area schools are in the process right now of registering kids for kindergarten for the 2024-25 school year. Now, there's different registration deadlines for each school. So whatever school district you're in, if you have a youngster that's getting ready to go into kindergarten, contact that particular school to find out when to get in there. But most of them have started right now.
One of those is Miss Amelia. Somebody's about to get a special kid. All right, out with the old, up with the new.
Hey,
and we're talking about
look at
the new signage for Ross Chillicothe Convention and Visitors Bureau. When you see this on our Facebook post that you had shared, you'll see the old sign being taken down, Midway Signs doing the work on this, and the new logo that we see on our commercial here on our program. You're seeing it now up on the sign for the folks there at 230 North Plaza Boulevard. If you've never been to this location, it is back behind like where Roosters is and the hotels and everything. It's all right there. That makes great sense. I do miss the days when they were in the old caboose there at Yaktangi Park. That was kind of neat, but it made more sense for them to be out where all the hotels are, because that's where the tourists come, and they'll stay there, and then they make their way on to find out where things are. You know, not long ago, WOUB was here doing the Our Town Chillicothe. It was something that was stretched out, I think, a 3-year period. They shot the film, they produced it, and then they reproduced and everything else thanks to COVID. They finally showed it. Well, tonight, WOUB TV will be sharing Lancaster, Our Town Lancaster. So you'll want to see that. It makes its debut tonight. And as you watch this live, remember they're in their fundraising pose. So this will be that moment where they'll interrupt and then they'll talk about why you should support WOUB in their public broadcasting. So feel free to chime in and check that out. WOUB Channel 20 and 44, I believe it was.
Correct.
And let's look at the news for today.
Yes, sir.
Or do you have more?
A lot of news in sports.
Yes. And we will take a look at some of the changes that have been made in sports. We got details on that just ahead. But first, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. They've been in the business for nearly 5 decades now. And if you've got heating issues, cooling issues, plumbing issues, check these guys out. Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. It will take you to their website, accuratehvac.com, where you can learn more about your trusted comfort advisor, Accurate.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Time for sports, and we begin with today being our preview show for high school basketball. Litter Media Game of the Week preview show. We don't have a game of the week, though. we had it Tuesday. We're taking Friday and Saturday off as we prepare for the tournament season, which comes your way next week. But we and the girls are already underway. In fact, they've got games tonight. We'll talk more about those all on the show coming up at noon today. And we'll also do a little salute to the champions for the leagues.
That's right. Also, a biggie for the FAC, Jackson's T.J. Carpenter has been named for a second time the FAC Girls Basketball Player of the Year. She helped lead the Iron Ladies to a 10-0 league mark. Carpenter averaged just under 18 points a game. She was joined that all-FAC list by Maddie Walburn and Kenzie Davis of Jackson, McLean's Paisley Pryor and Lily Barnes, Hillsborough's Peyton Bledsoe, and Blake Herdman, Miami Trace's Jesse Stewart, and Chillicothe's Avery Cox. That is actually a picture of TJ from, I think, last year or the year before, because I was at Chillicothe High School for that.
It goes to show the talents. I mean, she's player of the age. She's got her eyes closed. I mean, the best basketball player with her eyes closed.
Well, look at her there. She's taking on 1-on-5. It looked like there. Where's the teammates? Help me out here.
Swarming Cavalier defense.
Yeah, they got it done that night. Here's a big story, probably the biggest high school sports story of the day in the state of Ohio. After months of discussion and meetings around the state to gather feedback, the OHSAA just this morning unanimously approved a proposal to utilize a new formula to determine how many divisions will be offered for postseason tournaments. Now, as you are aware, the football has had 7 divisions for a number of years. Well, this coming fall, boys and girls soccer will have 5 divisions. Girls volleyball, girls and boys basketball, softball, and baseball will all have 7 divisions. In those sports, Division 1 and 2 will only include 64 schools. And if you get into the web story at littermedia.com, you'll see how they come up with one sport having maybe 5 divisions and the others having 7. Track, lacrosse, they're all going to stay the same. Boys volleyball will stay the same as what they were last year. And again, when you get into the story, you'll see, whether it's 5 to 7 divisions, how they come up with that. It'll start to make sense why they are leaving some of those sports as is for the time being.
And the reason for this?
Because competition.
And because they can't figure out the competitive balance thing?
Well, that's been a sore spot. It's still in play, but open enrollment, that was a can of worms that was opened up in the mid-'90s, and it's become a problem. So this is one way they're hoping to try to make it a little bit more competitive, especially in the high-end Division I.
It's the NCAA's portal, transfer portal.
You might say that.
Basically is what it is. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, high school bowlers this past Monday was the boys. The girls had their sectional this past Tuesday at Shawnee Lanes. And Lynchburg Clay, just like the boys, picked up the girls' championship, advancing as a team. They also advanced, let's see, you didn't have the top 4 here, did you?
Nope.
Okay.
That's what the web story's for.
New Lexington, Galley Academy, and Eastern Brown are your top 4 teams. And there's some individuals who advanced on the girls' side, a couple of Westfall bowlers and one from Logan Elm. Of course, when we take a look at qualifying for the next round for sports like bowling and golf and so on and so forth, it's usually the top 4 in the division and then the top 4 individuals not on a qualifying team. It's a long explanation, but that's how they figure all that out. So congratulations to those kids, and they'll have the district tournament out at Shawnee Lanes this coming Monday. Now, D1 has a later schedule, so they will begin their sectional next week. And in fact, how some of this is changed up, some of the schools in the Southeast District, as we've seen in the past, like Chillicothe, Logan, Lancaster, they usually get thrown into the Central. Mm-hmm. Well, some of the teams D1 here in the Southeast District are being kicked over to the Southwest, like Hillsborough and those types are going over that way. So there you have that.
All righty. Cavaliers of Cleveland back on the winning track. Beat the Bulls last night, 108-105. Cavs are second place in the Eastern Conference.
This guy's made us forget about LeBron James.
He's tough.
He is.
He is tough. How about making you forget the problems the Ohio State men's team has had? The OSU ladies. They won their 12th straight last night, beating Nebraska, 80-47. If you missed it earlier in the week, the Lady Buckeyes are number 2 in the nation in the latest college basketball poll.
And one of the difficulties for the number 2 team is staying at number 2. It seems like whenever you get to number 2, they lose, and then they get knocked off and then they drop back down in the rankings again. But they've had a really nice season. Both they and Nebraska have knocked off Iowa this year. So keep it going. Keep it going, Kevin McGuff.
And now you've got the bad news.
Chris Holtmann is out as the men's basketball coach at Ohio State. This is a tough because Chris is a super guy. He has had success where he has been prior to coming to Ohio State. For whatever reason, it's just not working this year. Is that the transfer portal? Is that the NIL? I don't know. I just can't explain it. But the Big Ten, is it just that much better? I don't know the answer. Good Christian guy. He and his wife, I was reading a post that Joe Stewart made on Facebook yesterday about the quality of individual that he is. And it's unfortunate. It's a results business, and if you're not performing, then you get shown the door. And I wondered when all of the talk was starting to circulate that it might be the end for Chris Holtmann. Is Gene Smith going to do this before he retires, or is he going to allow it to be the duty of the new guy coming in? And Gene Smith, 4 weeks ago, says, we're sticking with Chris Holtmann no matter what. And now here with a handful of games remaining in the regular season, the change is being made.
Feel bad for Chris. Like Dan said, he's a great guy, but he's going to be okay. They're going to pay him $12.6 million to fill out that contract.
Money doesn't always make you happy, but when it's that much, I'm sure
he doesn't have to work anymore if he didn't want to. Yeah.
I can tell you, I'll stroll the beach for a little while.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll sit back and watch the NCAA basketball.
I can buy my own basketball team. Yeah.
Also, news coming out of Columbus today. We were expecting to hear an announcement by the Blue Jackets, but that's still to come. There was an unexpected one because we didn't know this was going to happen, but Jarmo Kekalainen is gone. He was relieved of it. And this is what the headline says. Jarmo Kekalainen relieved of his duties as general manager. John Davidson, who I really like, he is, along with the team's hockey operations management team, they are going to press forward, carrying on the general manager's duties until they hire a replacement. Now, what we were expecting was going to be the big news was that the Blue Jackets are supposed to get to host an outdoor hockey game. And that will be March 1st of next year against the Detroit Red Wings. And
is it going to be at Ohio Stadium?
At Ohio Stadium. Yeah. So that is that's what all the newscasters were alluding to yesterday, but I don't know that they knew that Jarmo was going to be shown the door.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're struggling.
Yeah. You got to do something to shake things up. And John Davidson was the one who came in and shook things up earlier on that led them to the playoffs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And John was a successful coach and general manager where he was before the Blue Jackets, and he was a goalkeeper. Did you know that?
Davidson?
Yeah. And he tells a great story, and I can't remember it in detail right now to go into it, but I'd love to have him on sometime just to sit down and talk about his days being in goal. Yeah. So, all right, that's a look at sports. Don't forget, we've got our Litter Media Game of the Week preview show, which will be coming your way at the top of the hour.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
Our financial lives have never been more complex, and some decisions just can't wait, which is why our K&B Mobility app gives you instant access to the financial tools you need wherever you are. Get a clear picture of all of your accounts, check your daily transactions, receive account alerts, and much more. So no matter where you are or what you are doing, you can make the best decisions for you and your financial goals. Download our Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
This date in history. Here's Mr. History, Mike Smith.
We're going back to 1903 on this one. Toy store owner and inventor Morris Mitchum places 2 stuffed bears in his shop window, advertising them as teddy bears. Mitchum had earlier petitioned President Theodore Teddy Roosevelt for permission to use his nickname. The president agreed, and before long, other toy manufacturers began turning out copies of Mitchum's stuffed bears, which soon became a national childhood institution. This picture is one of the original teddy bears from 1903, and it belonged to the grandson of Theodore Roosevelt, Kermit. It was donated to the Smithsonian Institute in December of 1963. I might have seen this when I was in Washington a number of years ago. I just don't recall it. But, Teddy Bear, 1903 on this date.
So Teddy's grandson,
Kermit.
gave Teddy's Teddy
Yeah.
to go to the Smithsonian.
And I wonder if Kermit the Frog
is named after Kermit the grandson.
Probably not.
Put that image back up again, if you would there, please, Aaron. This, you see how what would be the arms, if you're talking a true bear, its legs, but you see how its appendages are attached. That's how the Vermont teddy bear still does their teddy bears. Because I used to buy these teddy bears because Missy was into teddy bears.
Okay.
So Valentine's, Christmas, birthdays, I've done my part to support the Vermont Teddy Bear Company and to help them get to where they are today. But that's what they look like. They have the body, they've got the head placed on there, and then they have the arms and legs that actually move. They still make teddy bears like that.
I think I had a teddy bear as a kid, and it looked an awful lot like Radar O'Reilly's teddy bear.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like Radar O'Reilly.
Well, Radar kind of looked like a teddy bear.
He did.
Yeah.
I had several teddy bears. I had Boo Boo originally, which I still have. Boo Boo is now 50, what would he be, 58 years old?
Do you still sleep with Boo Boo?
No. But I did bring Boo Boo out to
this
show
is a teddy bear for those just tuning in.
I did bring Boo Boo to my Sunday school class, and I shared, a story about Boo Boo and the whole deal. We've been through it all. But Boo Boo was followed up by Teddy, Teddy Bear, which was a panda bear. And then the year that I got my tonsils removed, I was 6 years old at the time, I got a life-size Yogi Bear as a teddy bear.
Hey, Boo Boo.
That was pretty cool. You talk about wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
He was my height. And I could take Yogi Bear down.
Yeah.
So jumped off the ropes and everything. All right, that's a look at the program for today. Thank you so much for listening, those of you listening live on Litter Media Radio. If you're wondering about Litter Media Radio, yes, we've always got stuff on there. It's a lot of the interviews that we have had with special engagements. This show, once it's fully produced, will also be added to Litter Media Radio. You can find us on our website. Just go to littermedia.com, click on where it says Litter Media Radio, and you can start listening today, just like that. It's that simple, that's easy. We have learned that most of the listening audience has been generated by live sporting events. So we'll have those for you back again next week. And you can also scan the QR code here. If you're watching this on a laptop computer, you can grab your smartphone, hold it up there. It will scan that for you as well. And you can share the word about Litter Media Radio. We're back again in a bit.
25 minutes.
For those of you listening live. Thank you so much for watching on Facebook and YouTube. Litter Media Live for this Thursday. Back at it again tomorrow here. We'll see you then.